everybody. It's been quite a while since our last podcast. Quite a few things have happened, and I've thought of different things to talk about. I hope you guys have been doing well. The weather, at least if you've been in the Chicago area or the central New York area, the weather's been shit. At first it's hot, then it's hailing, and then it's fucking rainy, and then it's cold but sunny. It's a very weird weather system if you're from, up north in certain areas. It's very weird. It's like very bipolar. Kind of like dating any girl. It's almost been exactly 2 months since I quit smoking. 7 more days. Happy 420, by the way, in case you're a pothead. I used to be one. So if you're smoking, have a good day. Be safe. Don't get arrested. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Don't do something stupid. Because, having a record, I would assume sucks dick. Also, when I started vaping, how rude of me. This is my co-host, Greg. I'm sorry, Greg.
Oh, that's okay. I was enjoying you talking. Hey, everybody.
I know, but we usually have that, like, hey, I'm Tim, and this is Greg, and usually we'll have it, but I guess I went off on a tangent there. But anyways, I noticed, I went to the eye doctor a couple days ago, because I noticed, like, when I started vaping, I smoked for 7 years total, and when I started vaping a few years ago, when we got away from the big cloud chugging vapes, and we got to hides, I noticed there was a lot more dangerous chemicals, and it was a lot harsher on the throat and body than the big vapes used to be. Especially salt nicotine. That makes you more addicted than regular nicotine. And I didn't think about the consequences. I didn't think about glaucoma or how much weight it can make you get when you quit. Just there's a lot of things that can go bad, especially with your vision when you start smoking. And I had what I thought was glaucoma because, I have eye floaters. I had blurry vision at points. I had things wrong with me that I was getting very nervous about in all actuality. So I went to the eye doctor a couple days ago. He said, hey, we don't see any glaucoma. We don't see anything really wrong with your eyes and the eye floaters. He didn't say they would really go away, but I said, what about the eye floaters? And he said they would become less prominent. And he's right, because, like, my vision isn't as blurry as it was, and I can see things more clearly than I did. I think that eventually they'll go away. I'm hoping. And I can open my eyes more. And I think it's because, I clean my eyes more, and my eyes are becoming more adjusted to the air. And, my gums are healing too, and I'm starting to notice, like, any, teeth or gum problems you have. When you smoke cigars, cigarettes, weed, or vape, it numbs. Like you get a coating on your teeth. Like, it numbs the pain, it can numb a lot of things. And you can become numb to the world, all you care about is the next fix. Because, when I was at my most desperate for nicotine, when I was trying to quit originally, like a year or two back, I would throw it in a random field and then go back a few hours later and go digging through it. I even dug through the trash publicly a time or two, embarrassingly enough. It can really get that bad, Some people may not believe it, but I promise you it can escalate to those stages. It sucks. But I advise you guys, if you never smoked, there's other ways to reduce stress. There's other ways to get rid of any anger or problems that you have. Ruining your eyes, because you can get glaucoma, you can get muscular degenerate, wet or dry, and you can get cataract. Like, all of those don't really have any they don't really have any inventions to solve it. You know, once you get it, you're done. Your vision is done. It may take a few years depending on what you got, but you will go as blind or even blinder than Stevie fucking Wonder because he's not totally blind either. That means you won't be able to drive, work, or even date, you know, unless you got somebody to take care of you. I don't know if they have any facilities for that, but it's not worth it. I promise you. And although I want to say I regret it because I don't want to advertise it, it helped me in my life when I needed it. I never needed it. Let me make that clear. I never needed nicotine. I never needed vaping. But I lived a bohemian lifestyle because that's what I needed at the time to keep moving forward and to be happier in life. And that's not for everybody. I never said it did. But there's other things that make you happy. The downsides of nicotine always outweigh any positives. I was always hungry, could never really sleep. It's made me have a higher blood pressure. I don't have high blood pressure, but, well, not that I know of, but it raises it. There's a lot of negatives with this that I wish more people could be aware of. And I just, when I quit, I didn't realize how low my gums were getting or how numb my teeth could get or any of that. I also didn't realize how much weight I would gain when I quit and how much nicotine until the end when I was quitting, how much it zapped all the energy that I wanted to put into working out and just moving in general. Like I didn't want to move, didn't want to work. I didn't really want to do anything. And now, you know, I just had my lungs were just cleaning themselves, and hopefully I'll get more energy and I'll recover more. Thankfully, there wasn't too much damage done compared to what I thought my body would be like. But I have gained weight. My blood pressure isn't what it once was. I let go of my hobbies for a very long time compared to when I was a kid. I got miserable and I wasted so much of my life just, I know it's going to sound crude, but, you know, masturbating, you know, it made me lazy. It made me just want to masturbate to get a quick fix. It made me not want to talk to girls and, you know, porn was there. Something I still struggle with. Nicotine is easier to get rid of by definition because you don't need it. But girls, it seems like it's something you always want, even if you really don't want it. Your body's like, oh no, you may not want it, but you need it. She's hot as fuck. Go talk to her. You know?
Yeah.
This is testosterone, if I even said it correctly. I'm sorry if I didn't. There's just a lot of problems that nicotine brings, and I wish I could have never done it. But, you know, when I started, it wasn't even for me. It was because, like a lot of other people and how they began, it was because of other people, you know? Like, my brothers were smoking. My buddy was smoking. A lot of people I was hanging out with were smoking. The hot girls I got to hang out with because I was smoking weed with them, they never gave me the time of day in high school, but in college, they're like, you never smoked before? I got you, so I got free cigars and free weed, you know? Like, and for like 8 months, I got to go hang with the popular kids from my high school. It was cool. You know, they treated me badly in high school, but in college, they were super nice. They're like, hey, Tim, what's up, man? How you been? You know, like, some things I was never able to let go of, but they were able to because they were never outcast. They were never treated like shit. So they're able to live without those scars to this day, but, you know, people like me and Greg, not so much. It can still hurt even 20 years after high school, even 30. You know, some scars never truly go away no matter how much you want them to. And I'm sure Greg, even in his own years, can back me up on this.
Yeah, I can.
Well, why don't you give me some examples, Greg? Because I don't want to just talk the whole time, and
No,
I
no,
want to hear more of your past.
no. I totally understand where you're coming from. When I was young, um, I'll start out where I used to live. When I grew up in elementary school, I lived out in Arizona, and I had a bunch of friends, and I had I had three different kind of groups of friends that I guess you can consider. I had ones that were like my preschool friends, then I had school friends, and then I had neighborhood friends. The neighborhood friends were pretty much kids from all different ages. And you got to remember, I was young. So I'm sitting here like 6, 7, 8, 9 years old at that time. And I was hanging out with kids my age. I was hanging out with kids 16, even up to 20.
Jesus,
Yeah,
that sounds creepy in
yeah.
hindsight. Must have
Um,
been a different time.
it was, and my neighborhood that I lived in was full of kids, so that's how you kind of just lived. And everybody knew each other. It was weird. It was like a family, but it was all different ages, and I never smoked. Luckily, I didn't pick it up. I'm surprised I didn't with all the kids I hung out with that did
Fuck
smoke
you, Greg.
and even drank. I was around people like that. Like I said, I saw it. I saw the smoking. I saw the weed. I saw the alcohol, and luckily, I just did not pick that up. So that was more of where I had friends, and I was never lonely at that time because I always had friends, and it was like a never hung out with the same friend. It was always a different person or a group of people. So that kept me going. But then it got me into trouble because some of them were troublemakers. And I got into, luckily, I didn't get into serious trouble, but I was more of a vandal. Everybody thinks I'm this nice, quiet kid, which I was, but I also had this lifestyle where I was a vandal and got into trouble all
Wow.
the time. Yep. I always got yelled at by my parents. I got one time I got into trouble by our landlord. That was our apartment manager, and I was doing some things, and she caught me and took me down right to my house. She knew where every kid lived in the complex, and she was like a witch. She would, come out at night, watch what people are doing, and
Sounds kind of creepy nowadays.
yeah, it wouldn't flow today. It would not flow today, but she was just everybody hated her. But luckily she only lasted, for so long. I mean, because the complex I lived in started out as a family, no, adult. It was like you had to be over 18 years
I'm
old.
guessing she'd be dead by now.
Oh, most definitely. Well, yeah, because we're looking like around 1983, 84 area.
How old was she then?
She was probably in her 60s. So yeah, but then all of a sudden after that, I had all these friends, and then we moved, and then I went through this kind of depression where I didn't know what to do. How do I make friends? Because you had so many friends that you gravitated to, and it was like, what do I do now?
That's how I felt after college. I still feel that.
Yeah, I didn't talk to anybody. Went to a new school, and the only thing that kept me it's like weird, Linus from Charlie Brown had his blanket. I had this coat that I got attached to. I don't know why, but I did. And I went to school, and you got to remember, this is out in Arizona. We live now in Tucson, and I wore this coat all the time. Never took it off, except for, like gym class or something. But I wore this coat when it was 90 degrees outside, 100 degrees outside. It was the only thing I had left. I don't know why. And when I was in school, it was like I kept to myself. Yeah, it was like acquaintances, but I didn't really talk to anybody, didn't hang out with anybody. That was when I became a loner. And I lasted that way for a couple years. And then when I got into high school, I kind of just opened up a little more and said, I can't live my life like this. So I kind of opened up and
But it kind of worked out that way, regardless.
yeah, but it took all those years to get to that point.
Indeed. I mean, so I guess it'd be different in that way. I had a small group of school friends. Then after high school, they went away, and then I had people I hung out with in college, and then Jeremy died, and Shane got arrested for pedophilia, and he accused me of something that I didn't do. And I moved away, so that kind of ended that. But he became a pedophile. Jeremy died, which you already knew.
Hmm.
Uh, Brandon and me were close for about a good 2 years, and then it started getting worse and worse until it is what it is now, where we'll make a video maybe like once a year and say, hey, Purple Haze is still around, but we don't give a fuck. Kind of what it is. And then I made a video detailing, the video is not up anymore. It was taken down. You know this. The channel knows this. But it was detailing my depression, my episodes. I didn't like to call it any specific kind of mental illness because I don't like being labeled in that manner.
Right.
But, I call it like it is. It was obviously something. Where I would have these, and I think it was from the nicotine, to be honest with you, where I would have these episodes of severe depression where I wouldn't move for the day and sometimes even call in. Like, you were there for them.
Yeah.
Like, especially when, I was homeless. You were there for them and you saw how bad they got, where I wanted to die. I didn't want to do anything. Remember?
Yeah, I do remember that.
And you can even tell them, you could verify it got pretty bad at some points.
Yeah, there were times I remember you kind of just, I remember there were times you kind of hid away. You didn't want to talk to anybody. Um,
I don't remember if I cried a few times or not. I remember screaming a lot in anger, just a repressed, bottled up anger that I think might have shocked you a little bit.
yeah, because it was kind of like one of the anger where, when you get angry at somebody or something, it comes out. It was just kind of like, it just came out, nothing, I don't know if anything triggered it or what, but to me, it just seemed like it just came out.
It was a combination of things. I hadn't been that depressed since Abby and the whole one that got away situation in high school.
Hmm.
But after all my college friends went away, which it happened like a year after I graduated community college, then I went to SUNY Oswego. And let me tell you, Greg, those were the emptiest days of my life. Like, even being homeless and having only, like, you and sometimes Brandon as a friend, let me tell you, Greg, those were still the most empty, depressing days of my life. Being alone, crying, like, wanting to die because I was so alone there. I had nobody to talk to, nobody to confide in. There was nothing. There was nobody. And people looked at me as if I was an outsider. I just wanted to die. I felt like I didn't belong. They're all so smart and attractive, and I'm ugly as fuck. Like, I should die. You know, I felt so like a monster. I felt like Frankenstein's monster.
Hmm.
And I graduated, but the more and more I went, the more and more I wanted to stay away. The more and more I regretted going. You know, I should have went to another college. I went there because it accepted the most amount of credits. It was beautiful there, and it was convenient. You know, that and my advisor was hot as fuck. Not gonna lie. Uh, she was a hot blonde, and she was only 27. I didn't care, but she was married, unfortunately. Um, probably be in her mid 30s now, actually. My
Yeah.
point is that I just felt like life was not for me, and maybe it'd be better off that nobody wanted me. And yeah, you may have saw my anger and depressed, but I was more angry at the world. But when I was at college, especially that college where teachers weren't as close to you as CCC, you know, they saw thousands of students, they didn't care. I didn't have friend groups. I maybe saw one or two persons that I knew and would maybe share campus and hang out with, but it never lasted long, and I never had any group that wanted me. And I had nobody to fall back on. You know, my dad was busy with his own trauma, and you know, my stepmom left, and my brothers. I had to take care of their drama too, because remember, my brother Jeff was homeless at the time, and
Yeah.
my brother Brandon was being an alcoholic at the time. So I had to take care of them too. I felt alone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that's a lot.
And I failed my second semester of college besides one class because of my brothers. It was not a good time, but I got through it. And you know, the thing I can say about the college though is that it's very beautiful. It's on the lake. They got good food, and they got that lighthouse. Although I never got to see it.
Yeah, that would be a neat environment to be in.
Indeed, you'll have to check it out when you come back. I
Yeah.
mean, I've heard fellow students say they went to it, but I've never seen it myself. I've seen it from far away, but I've never been to it.
Hmm.
Um, you know, I love the city though. I love the city.
Yeah.
You know, and I told you how I lost my V card and how it was associated with that city. And
Yeah.
you know, I lived in the county for 3.5 years. You know, and I worked in the county for about 4 years. So you know, I had a long history with the county, but Greg, let me tell you, I should have gone to a different college, and you know, there's things I could have done outside of the degree I did, but you know what? I still graduated. You get older, you want different things. I mean, is there times I still yearn to be young again and go to college and fuck hotter chicks and actually talk to more people instead of being the loser that I was? Yeah. But, you know, I didn't try out for any sports. I didn't try out for any clubs because I was just too depressed. I didn't think anyone would accept me. You know, nobody tried to reach out to me. And I just shut myself from the world. And you know what? I'm still in that bubble. And, you know, the older I get, Greg, the more fine I become with it. And of course, I don't like being shut from the world, but it protects me from others and it protects my conscience, my psyche.
Right.
And, you know, you, my dear friend, my dear Greg, you are the same way, and you've done it a lot longer than I have. You've probably done it as long as I've been born, actually, even longer. So you,
Yeah.
out of all people, should understand. I mean, maybe not the abuse part, but I'm saying the alone part you understand.
Oh yeah.
Not the mom part, but you know, I didn't say we're totally alike, but you understand a lot of my life.
Yeah.
And for that, I'm thankful enough just for that. just for that, I'm thankful. I could have had some of those friendships last longer if I didn't have an ego or if I wasn't such an asshole. I can admit that because I told you about Chris and Russell and Allie. Russell was gay. He was a good friend of mine. Really sweet guy. He loves cosplaying. Just really sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And then Allie and Chris, they like to dress up as the chipmunks and draw, and they like that. They were very good people. But I just had to open my mouth because I disagreed with their lifestyle. They lived off their retired grandparents who were poor, living in a rundown shack, pretty much. And Chris's excuse was he had fucked up feet. He had flat feet, even though he walked fine for years.
Yeah.
Russell at least had an excuse. He was epileptic, Greg.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Epileptic, had the club's foot. But he was such a good guy, Greg. I think you would have loved him. Just like Jeremy, Greg, he was a really nice guy. Would give you the shirt off his back. Would have been your best friend. Probably would have flirted with you too. But he was a good guy, Greg. I swear to God. One of the best people I ever met, and I'll never meet someone else like him. But unfortunately, Greg, when they hold a grudge, they unfortunately never let it go. You know how I get? I get mad, I get fucking furious, and then I let it go. I let it go and I forget. You know how I am.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Greg, they are not the same. And you know what? I still respect all of them. Even though they don't like me, I still like them. I said what I said. I don't regret saying what I said. I just regret it coming out of my mouth and ruining the friendship. I should have kept it to myself. It wasn't my life. It was just, I was such a daddy's boy at the time that, I was the golden boy. I was like a miniature version of my dad. I worked hard. I was going to school, working full time, taking care of my brothers. I felt like a miniature version of my dad.
Right.
And, my dad had a job ever since he was like 12, and he's been working ever since. Besides, when he retired. And my dad was like, at the time when I was younger, he was telling me, there's a lot of lazy people in the world. If you want something, you go out and get it. Nobody's going to hand it to you.
Yeah, and he's right about that.
Unless you're a really hot girl, but that's a different kind of arrangement. And we won't speak of that type of shit on this program, not yet. That'll be a future episode.
Yeah, there we go.
Because we've talked about it in other videos, and I think we mentioned it in other podcasts, but, we're talking about our youth for now, But yeah, in my mid-20s, after Brandon, you came. Jeremy was dead. All my other friendships were gone. All the other girls that they bounced on me, and found love.
Right.
And I was alone. And then you came. You're like, wow, I understand your depression. I understand a lot of what you're going through, and I admire that you have the balls to say it publicly, no matter what people think. I admire that. And then you said you like Triple Haze. And then you messaged me, and yeah, you messaged me, and we became happy. But I wish I could have invited you to be friends with a few of the other guys I was friends with. Because even though they left our friendship, I still don't dislike them. I still like them. I think they're still nice people. Maybe I just wasn't for them. I wish they would have told me, but not everybody's going to. Some people just dip.
Yeah.
And, I tried actually apologizing to a few of my friends, Greg. I actually did try. Sammy, you know how that ended. Eventually, we just kept going back and forth with dating, and it just never worked. You know how that is.
Right.
With Sammy, it just never worked, so our friendship ended, and she moved on to other dudes. Me and Austin are good. We're good, like, As in, I have no problem with him. He has no problem with me. Whenever we hang out, it's solid, but we just don't have enough time. He doesn't have enough time, I guess, is what I'm saying. We don't have enough time because I work as much as he does. And he lives like 2 hours away, so it's a very rare thing. But when we do, it's fun.
Yeah.
Brandon, when me and Brandon hang out, it can be fun, but he always wants to bring his girlfriend, and he can never be alone anymore. And Veronica wants to give us time, to be apart, be together, but
Oh, that's
Brandon's always
nice.
like, oh, no, 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 no. Tim has no problem with it, blah, blah, blah. Right, Tim? And then he'll put me on the spot, and what am I supposed to say?
Yeah.
But, whenever me and Brandon hang out, we're good, We're not really friends anymore, more like acquaintances, because it doesn't even feel like a brotherhood. I love him, don't get me wrong. And whenever we talk, we can go back like old times, like, oh, hey, what up, douchebag? But outside of that, like, whenever we hang, Greg, we can hang and be good, but it's not what it once was.
Yeah.
It's not what it once was, and unfortunately, it never will be again. I accept that. He's accepted that. We have just accepted that, both of us. It sucks, but that's just what it is at this point.
Right.
Um, and then I haven't made any other friendships there's recently been this girl that's tried dating me, wants to date me, but I'm not really into it, I'm not really into dating like I thought I would be, like I was in the past. Now I don't really care and really don't want to be around girls. I've had such terrible luck since I got out of college that it doesn't seem worth it to me. The standards have gone up. Dating in general has become harder, and you got to have a certain way, or you got to say certain things, and you got to do a lot more work than girls do. And I know girls have their own struggles when it comes to dating, but I feel like for the average guy of today, or even below average, it's a lot harder. Plus, you get shamed if you don't fit a certain stereotype, or you have any bitterness, even if it's not towards girls and towards yourself, they'll call you an incel or forever alone or whatever terminology there is to shame you, and it sucks.
Yeah.
And you'll be isolated from society too. And they'll think you're a school shooter or you're going to hurt somebody, when really you're just sad and alone and bitter at yourself that you're not better. Doesn't mean you want to hurt people. They stereotype a lot, and it sucks, Greg. It really does.
Oh, I know.
Because I've never wanted to hurt people, Greg, unless it was a specific bully. But I've never intentionally would have ever, hurt anybody at my school. Because I was always afraid of getting in trouble, and I always wanted to be good in my father's eyes. Like I never wanted to be the dude that got in trouble. I was always the teacher's pet, because they were really the only ones that ever showed me any decent level of respect and kindness. Maybe because they were being paid to, but I felt like some of them were truly, truly kind people, and that they truly believed in what they were saying, and they weren't just lying to me.
Yeah. I see where you
That's
come
what I'm
from.
saying, Greg. I truly believe some of them were very genuine.
Right.
And I'm extremely thankful that they were in my life at all. That's also what I'm saying. I'm extremely thankful that they did anything for me. Yeah, that's just kind of what it's been like the last few years. My relationship with my family has changed dramatically. You seem to still be close to your parents, but not really
other members of your family or former friends. You touched upon that on other episodes, and I think I have, so we should be moving on to other topics. But let me just go further in depth in the family part real quick.
Sure.
Greg is still very close with his family. I won't say why, that's up to him, but he's very close with his parents, and I've heard them. They're very nice people, and they raised a good dude, so they're good in my book. And I'm not even going to make a yo mama joke because your mom deserves more respect than that. And I would really love to meet her. She seems like a fine lady.
Thank you.
But my dad, growing up, my dad was the only adult in my life that I could look up to. I felt like everybody else didn't care or just went around. It's funny, me and my dad weren't really particularly close when I was a kid, It took until I was probably past, 12 for us to really go close. Because, when I was a kid, you're more annoying, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And my dad was just coming back from Iraq. It wasn't really the same. I would say me and my dad didn't get close until my teenage years. I'm not saying he didn't love me or wasn't there for me or we didn't have some good times, but I truly never felt close to my father until I was older. And then all it took was one wrong girl to destroy that relationship because, she treats him good and she loves him and they're good together, but I'm not going to talk so much trash about her because she's done a lot for my father, but I feel like she doesn't like me. I feel like she doesn't like his kids. I feel like she wishes we weren't around, which we're really not anymore, and she saw to that. I'm not saying that was her intention. I really probably shouldn't even imply that, but that's the way it seemed. She changed him, My father used to be close to more people and do more things, but when she came, all that changed, and I say she's responsible. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
She's very intelligent, and she's there for him. So good for her. But if my dad one day wakes up and wonders why his kids aren't around or why the relationship isn't as close, well, he'll know eventually. I'm going to have to ask her what they ordered because I have no idea. I had to ask her real quick.
Okay.
If they're even home. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get to my pickups. Rice or lemonade. Stuff's not bad. And bottled Coke. That's always the best. In
Yeah.
glass bottle.
Yeah.
I don't think they're home. So I guess I'll just have to come back. It's like, what do you expect me to do when I can't find the package,
I know.
But Greg, despite everything, I'm not close with my brothers either. I mean, Devin, I used to hang out with him more. That was my little chef brother. He hangs out more with his friends now, but we still hang out, sometimes, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I used to be close with my aunt. We're not close anymore. I used to be closer with my cousins. That kind of fell apart. And, that's okay. I'm okay with that. You're not going to be close with everybody. And, me and my dad, we'll still talk here and there, but it's not what it once was, and I don't think it ever will be again. Not until she's gone. And I don't want her to die because she loved my father, and it was probably good for him in a way for him to keep calm and not be angry all the time. And I respect her, but I don't like her. That's the best I can say. You know.
Right.
I used to be close with my sisters, but one became addicted to drama and a head case, like a liar, and the other became too toxic. She was bitter, angry all the time, and treated people like shit, and always made it out to be that she's a victim. And I didn't want to be around that anymore. And when my dad cut her off, I cut her off. And mine and her relationship actually ended a few years before that.
Okay.
Because she would stay home. She quit working and had her husband paying all the bills, but he couldn't afford it. And she could have worked, but she didn't, and she left him to do everything, and they struggled for a very long time. In fact, I think they're still struggling now because she wants to be a stay-at-home mom, and you can't really do it on one income anymore most of the time. So
Yeah.
I wish them luck, but my brother-in-law, I actually had no problem with. I thought he was actually a really good guy. I thought he'd be in my life longer, but he was in my life for nearly, 14 years. So it was pretty good. It was pretty good. It just is what it is.
Right.
What else? What else? What else is there for me to say, Greg? Fuck. I was close to my older brothers, but one moved to Tennessee, and then he only really started calling me when he needed money or was trying to get something out of me, unfortunately. And then my oldest brother, once we stopped living together, he was never the family type, so that kind of went away too. But that's okay, Greg. Not everybody's gonna stay close with you, and I'm okay with that.
No, that's true.
I'm okay with people eventually going away. It's their life. And whatever makes him happy, I want him to succeed.
Yeah.
I don't want to hold anyone back. I want him to be happy. I want him to succeed, and I hope whatever he's doing now, he's happy. I wanted to do more with and for him, but not everybody's gonna want you to really be that type of person in their life. And I accept that. It hurts, but hey, sometimes you gotta move on, buddy.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
In life, you gotta move on, right?
Yeah.
If you're asking, do I wish things could have been different? Of course. Of course, I wish I could have remained close to certain people. Maybe if Shane didn't grow up to be a weirdo, or we kept in touch, maybe you could have met him, or that guy from Pennsylvania I was friends with, that weirdo John. That was trying to get me to live with him. Probably not. What's up, brother? Hopefully this one's a better shape. Ed. You want to check it real quick? Because they put all this shit on top of it. Yeah. What is it? Here, my truck. Oh, no shit. Fucking tweet. They ruined it. Where's all the foam? They didn't put anything around it. This whole thing is back. Jesus. Yeah. Is it fabric? Oh, you ain't shitting. They didn't even put anything to fucking cover it. Yeah, see what they fucking did was they put a few of these, they put it below. I don't understand why the fuck they did that. The packing's gotten a lot worse. Code it.
Truck's been down 2 weeks
Is the radiator the only thing that's wrong with it?
now. I got everything else, but it needs to. I ain't the fuck do they put especially something like this. Heavy shit on top of it.
I completely agree.
This one's even worse than the other one.
What was the shape of the other ones?
Weak, and the pins were all smashed in. The other one is bold.
Yeah, that's fucking bad.
Yeah, there's
Fucking go with this. I want you to call this number
okay.
and tell them that they did a shitty job fucking packing. Because they make my job fucking terrible too when they put literally all that shit. Because I don't know what any of that stuff is. And it could be just something like this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fucking code it as damaged, which lets FedEx know it's damaged. And then if you call and explain it even further, they should be able to like either give you a refund or like help you figure something out.
Yeah, because I had to send pictures to Rock Auto about it.
No
The
shit.
last one. So we got this one right out in the mail. I'm gonna call FedEx. Call them and say, these are prices. The second one, and this one's
Even worse.
than the other one.
Jesus.
And I'm gonna take pictures of it and I'll send it to.
You want to take pictures real quick?
Sure. I gotta go and get.
No problem, brother. That way they can't deny it. Is it working?
There.
Yeah, it's like,
I gotta send a picture to.
I'm surprised they don't have more like support in this. You know what I'm saying? Like, where's the foam? Where's something around it so it's protected?
I mean, I don't need my truck, but. That's fucking. I'm gonna pull it over here and shade it.
Yeah. And then it requires like a signature for me to say it's damaged, so that way like you're made aware.
Okay.
And they always make a signature every time we like meet a customer. But I want to fucking FedEx them know that way they can actually do something. Because they always try to deny.
Well, this way your ass is covered as well.
Yeah, you ain't shit.
And I mean, you can see that.
Yeah, like I'm just still wondering where the fuck is the support? You would think it's a Walmart box, because in Walmart boxes they never have like any foam or support to protect it.
They threw
They threw it under heavier shit. That's what they did.
Alrighty, I got the pictures.
That's what they did.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
I'm gonna send it to Rock Auto again tonight.
Need help putting it on the push?
No, I can take it. You got enough pictures, so?
No, your pictures and like you calling is. I fucking hate their packing myself. Every time I come in the morning, I have to fucking try and fix it, but there's only so much you can do. They're fucking clowns. They hire all these retards from Syracuse that don't give a shit.
No, I work for Lowe's, so I know pretty tough.
I'm like, I just don't get it, honestly. But, you know, like FedEx, they're like, oh, we make enough. Fuck the rest.
Like I said, I'm glad I got another car. That was my transportation.
The white one?
Yeah.
The shit. No shit.
But I was changing the thermostat, the housing, one of the bolts broke on the housing, so I got the whole housing. And I went to drain my radiator, busted the pitcock off.
Jesus.
And it's like, you know, fuck it, I'm not going to screw around trying to fix an old radiator.
Yeah, you never know what the fuck it's gonna do. But no, this will let them know. But if you call that way, you know they can connect the two and be like, oh no, you can call it anytime.
Oh, good.
It's not like a specific store. It's just like a giant terminal. So,
Well,
but if you want to call between the best times where you'll actually get an answer, I'd say before 4 or 5.
okay, well, I'm out at 3 o'clock tomorrow. If I get out at 4 today, I'll try today, and if not, I'll definitely do it tomorrow, because I'll be, like I said, I get out of work at 3 tomorrow.
That should work.
All right. Swing in here,
Yeah, I'll try.
you know, I'm just back ready to gear.
Indeed. Because those people, they don't give a shit. Yes, sir. Are you still there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm still here. We're all still here.
Did you pause that, or did you catch that whole thing?
I got the whole thing.
Keep it.
Okay.
Because you know how I feel about FedEx. Fuck 'em.
Oh, I know. That's a shame.
Like, you heard all that, right?
Yep.
Like, they put a light fucking box for this dude's radiator beneath heavier shit. And it's all fucked up. It's all bent. And Rock Auto themselves, they didn't put any foam in it. Like, there was no protection. It was like one of those Walmart boxes. You're like, dude, what the fuck?
Wow.
I know. Like, I feel bad for the guy, but I did as much as I could for him. Like, I said it was damaged, but he's going to ship it back to Rock Auto. Like, I don't know if he gets, like, anything from that, like, doing that, but, he's going to fucking try his best. But anyways, guys, on a different topics, because, we're talking about depressing topics. I want to talk about something I told Greg about a while ago. When I was younger, I had imaginary friends, and Greg knows this. My first imaginary friend, Greg, was Pikachu.
Really?
Yeah, it was Pikachu, man. I shit you not. My second imaginary friend was like a Snorlax, like a second Pokemon, and like different fictional characters. But the most prevalent one that I still see sometimes today, like if I truly think about it, or I'm just having a really bad day, and it may seem lonely and pathetic, and you're right. I'm not going to deny that it's not. But, that's okay. I needed something to cheer me up at the time. Her name was Leslie. Hang on, I gotta. Hang on.
Okay.
I still gotta add that dude's name. I forgot to add his name.
Okay.
Golembowski. I got 62 stats left. Man. But anyways, as I was saying, guys, when I was about 16 or 17, I was going through this huge fuck because I just broke up with this girl. I thought she was the one, and I just went through a severe depression at the time, and it wasn't just her. Other problems in my life were happening. And I started cutting and doing mentally unhealthy things to myself. And I started reading fan fiction from Bridge to Terabithia, and one of the characters was Leslie. And my favorite side of that fan fiction is when she doesn't die, because at the end of the book and movie, fuck. At the end of the book and movie, she dies. Sorry about that. My fucking vehicle is acting stupid. But yeah, at the end of the book, she dies. At the end of the movie, she dies. There's 2 movies, 1 book. And people write fan fiction to where she doesn't die, and she falls in love with Jess, or he saves her from drowning. Sorry for spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
And she was always impulsive, sunny, happy, always challenging stereotypes, always being different and being proud of it. She was imaginative. She wanted to be a writer, something I strived for. I want to be a writer. I was always different. I always dressed different. I was always imaginative and happy child, before I started smoking, of course. But I would pretend that she was right there just encouraging me and saying, hey, keep going forward, or hey, it's not worth hitting this guy, be happier, be nicer. And I'm not denying that may seem kind of pathetic to someone with a lot of friends, but, when you don't have any of that and you're always picked on in school, you will let your mind wander in any positive influence you can so you don't hurt others or yourself or snap or whatever the case may be. For a lot of people that are mentally weaker than you, you'll do whatever you can to keep sane and be happy. And that was one of the reasons I coped. I would pretend fictional characters would be there. I always liked fiction more than truth, even though truth is stranger than fiction. I haven't done it in a very long time, but she's still one of my favorite characters, and I always wanted to find a dream girl like that. I was never able to because fictional characters are perfect. Kids aren't really like that. They're cold and they're cruel. They're not happy. They're not warm. It's very rare that they are.
Right.
Before it gets to that point. So, I guess what I'm saying is that I just needed whatever advantage I could to be happy, and that was one of the ways I could be happy. So, I hope you guys don't judge me for that. And I don't know if you've ever had an imaginary friend, but I can still picture any imaginary friend I've had, even right now, like being right next to me.
I personally actually had.
Really? Tell me about it.
Yeah, I actually did. I don't even know what age I was. I was still young, still under a teenager, of course. And Mine, his name was Malcolm. I don't know how in the world I got that name from. I think it was from a television show, and I thought, oh, that's a unique name, and that's how he
Like, it
became.
couldn't have been Malcolm in the Middle. That was the
No, no,
misspell.
no, no. It had nothing to do because Malcolm in the Middle wasn't even around that time.
That's what I'm saying.
No, no, no. It had nothing to do with that show. It was something I saw back in the day or read, and I think that's where it came from. And he was my age. Um, and I didn't really go into characteristics, kind of what he looked like, but he had the same personality as I did, just maybe a couple years older than I was. Um, but mainly he was there when I needed him, and he kind of encouraged me. It was kind of like,
Your guardian angel.
yeah, that's more probably more. I was looking at him as
You know, how old were you?
I was probably 10, 11, 12 area.
When you can still picture him today? Like, when's the last time you imagined this?
My last time probably was 13.
And
So,
you haven't thought about it since?
no, he kind of just disappeared.
I can still picture, like, I could imagine somebody's there. It's like a ghost.
Hmm.
And the reason why I think I made it Leslie is because I never had a mother. You know this. I never had a mother figure. I never had female figures in my life. Female figures in my life.
Right.
It was always men, manly men, army men, man whores, strong bodybuilder type men. I was never close with any girls growing up. I never had that influence. And I think one of the reasons why I never really understood women as well as I could have, or don't trust them as much as I could have, is because of what my mom allowed to happen to me and her abandoning me and my brothers. I think that's one of the reasons why I also chose a female figure to look up to or to inspire me. I think that's why I chose a girl instead of a guy.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Because it's something that I lacked and something that I always wanted and looked forward to, but
Right.
never could find. That was one of the reasons why, you know?
Right.
And that's just the honest truth. That's just the fucking honest truth.
Well, with me, it was since I'm the only child. There's times where I wish I had a brother, an older brother, to bounce things off of. Because sometimes it's hard to talk to your parents about personal things, so you always wish you had somebody there that is like a couple years older than you are, and that's how mine came about.
Yeah, well, mine just came from just severe depression. But hang on.
Okay.
Hello, gentlemen. Got one for Jonathan? Here, I think that's the thing. Perfect. My Winfield. Have a good day, gentlemen. Yeah. There you go. Really? Sure. Well, yeah, just the last time mine appeared, like, I actually did have one final female figure that appeared in my imagination that would occur to me, and I think that was about 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
In 2021, I think that was the last time because I became older and, more mature and, just paying my bills, and it wanes. It really does, But I can still not imagine their figure there, but I can just feel a presence there if I really think about it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I have the imagination to imagine them, like, their character there, like, to see it. But I can feel it. It's very weird, and I know it sounds weird, but I feel like I can still feel them,
Right.
just not see them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense.
So I can feel them, Greg, but I can't see them.
Right.
I can almost hear a voice, but I can't actually hear it. I just know what their words are mouthing. And listen, me and Greg, I'm sure he would agree with me, we're not advocating that this is normal. We never said it was, especially with my age. I never said it was normal, but it's not the first time I've heard of people doing this, especially when they like fiction that much or anime. I mean, what do you make of the Star Trek or Lord of the Rings people? You can't call me weird when those fucking people are running around.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially at Comic-Con. Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna judge me? Go fuck yourself. You ever seen the Star Wars fandom? Come on, dude.
Oh, I've seen videos of that. Oh my gosh.
Or the furries or the
Yeah.
pony bros. Like, you can't judge me. And I only did it to make myself feel better, not hurt anybody. And I didn't make it weird with the characters. It made me want to survive more. It made me want to keep moving on,
Right.
So, Greg, I never did it with the intention of it hurting anyone or going further than just cheering me up, besides reading the actual fiction,
Right.
But as far as the characters go, I got what I needed out of the characters at the time. I got what I was looking for. And you know what? I accomplished what I wanted. So it made me feel better. I got to live a better life because of it. And I didn't take myself out. So I consider it an accomplishment. And maybe you too, for the time or whatever you needed it for, it worked. And if it didn't, I'm sorry. But I know we're not the only ones to ever do it. Like, I can't say I've ever experienced any hauntings where I talked to a ghost or seen anything too weird, but I feel like I've experienced some things, now that we're on the topic, that I can't quite explain. Like, I remember when I was 12 or so, like 12 to 14, in between there, I was a young lad, and I saw a red car go by. It was like a red sedan, kind of older, early 2000s model. It looked kind of like a Saturn Grand Prix. No,
Okay.
it looked like a Grand Prix.
Okay.
Like early 2000s, before they stopped making them.
Yeah.
But it was cherry red, and I was getting off the bus and walking down the street, and on the sidewalk there was this huge tree that would cover part of the road. Will cover you from seeing it. Imagine a maybe 3 to 5 foot tree trunk.
Okay.
Lengthwise. Not widthwise, lengthwise. And it blocks the road, obviously. And I saw the car go by, right? I saw the car go by, by the tree, but it never went past it. And I was so confused. I ran past the tree, and I didn't see anything. And I looked stupid just sitting there with a confused expression on my face. But there was literally a classmate of mine. She was going by with her dad, and she said, "Hi, Tim," and she was waving. And I was like, I waved back, but then I just shrugged it off. But it was like one of the weirdest things that ever happened to me.
Wow.
Have you ever had something like that happen to you?
Not that I can recall. That I don't.
I also had another odd, terrifying experience. Like, we talked about dreams and nightmares. We'll get into that later on, but one of the weird things was, remember how I told you I used to be obsessed with Amanda Todd case? You know, the teenager in Canada that killed herself?
Yeah.
Because of bullying. You know, she was bullied very harshly. She killed herself in Canada. She was only 16. She was 2 months younger than me, Greg. She was born November 27th, and I was born September 11th, 1996. She died October 10th of 2016.
Okay.
No. I'm sorry. Fuck. When was it? Fuck. When was it? She died 2012. I'm sorry. So I think when she was 15. And if anyone doesn't know the case, it's like this girl when she was 11, she went on chat roulette, and she. To be fair, I can't judge her because I've shown people, you know, my dick. You know, it was girls, but it was through texting. But one of them turned out to be a transvestite. That's a fucked up story. I'm getting off the point. My point is that anybody could be tricked on the internet. You don't know that.
Yeah.
Anybody can be tricked on the internet. Greg, repeat it with me. Anybody can be tricked. They can pretend to be anybody that they wish to.
Yeah, as I say, anybody can be tricked on the internet.
Even cops can.
Yeah.
There's the dark web for a reason, Greg. There's VPN for a reason. Then again, if the government wants you, they will get you. Just remember that.
Oh, I know.
But my point is that this girl, she was half Asian, half white, you know, and she was Canadian.
Mm-hmm.
And she wanted friends. She was lonely, you know, kind of like me and you. And she would go on these sites like chat roulette. You want me to put it inside? You want me to put it inside, sir? Of course, sir. Perfect. You have a good day, sir. Thank you, sir. What a beautiful day out. It is a very beautiful day, surprisingly.
Beautiful day, huh?
Indeed, but back on topic. She was like 10 or 11 or 12. To be fair, Greg, not every teenager does this, and anybody listening, we're not calling her stupid for doing so, but I'm not going to say it's normal either.
Mm-hmm.
To show your private parts to complete strangers on the internet. Somebody actually took a picture of those photos. I'm not going to repeat where they're at or what they are, but somebody took photos of her, and I'm not going to say what she did, but it followed her around for the rest of her life. When she was 11, every school she went to, it got sent to her parents, it got sent to her school, it got sent to her friends, and keep in mind, it's child porn, because she was like 11. Again, I'm not going to say what it was, but it's obviously very illegal. And this sick fuck would follow her around to every school she went to and send it to just random people. He would hack her accounts and just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He would hack her accounts and do disgusting stuff. And he, one day, you know, just wouldn't stop. So she attempted suicide a few times. She, the first time, drank the whole thing of bleach.
Ooh.
I remember people made a lot of disgusting memes about bleach and using her photo. And it makes me want to cry, actually. But she was so young. But she waited in a ditch and she died. She just went to a random ditch and just waited to die. But fortunately, her father found her and saved her life at the last minute. She got her stomach pumped.
Wow.
But her parents weren't able to pay attention to her as much as I would like to think so, seeing as what happened. Then, I don't think she was very popular at school. She obviously had friends because there's pictures of her hanging out with a bunch of people, but, what happened next was she slept with a guy that lied to her, like this dude who had a girlfriend, by the way, he pretended to love her, talk to her. And I think over December break, in Canada, she slept with him. And guess who found out? The girlfriend, and I think there was a video that went around for a while where they had a fight, and I think Amanda lost. I think she got beat up. And she got made fun of more because of that, and, because of the nudes, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And she lost a lot of friends because of it. Now, I've heard people in comments, on the video say that she was a bully herself and that she was a bitch, but I don't know what to believe, Greg. I don't believe that. She seemed really nice. I remember watching her videos when it first came out. The date after, October 11th, 2012, is when I was made aware of her existence.
Okay.
And at first, as a young, arrogant, fuckhead douchebag who always used to wear hats and, try to be cool, I thought she was a slut, like, oh, you slept with some girl's boyfriend or you show your tits. Like, I never did that. Like, you must be dumb. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I said a lot of things that I regretted, Greg, because I was young, I was stupid, and I didn't think about. She was just a young kid, man. She didn't know what the fuck she was doing. She was just trying to get friends. She was manipulated. And it makes me want to cry now because I'm a grown-ass man, and I understand the difference now, Greg. But I did it when I was her age. I was a shit. You don't realize what you're saying when you're younger, Greg.
Oh, I know.
And I know there's a lot of critics on that, but some people truly don't know what they're saying and, if they actually even mean it. I regret, Greg, there's also another reason why I deleted those first channel videos. Because I said a lot of, I'm sure you remember seeing videos about Amanda Todd on my first channel.
Yeah, I actually do.
I deleted those, Greg, because I think there's still one on our channel now that wasn't deleted, but keep it. It proves how stupid I once was. I tried to be partial and say, oh, she still didn't deserve to kill herself, but it sounded like I victim blamed. It really did. So she eventually got so sick of being bullied that one night she took a rope. I think she went to her attic, tied it to one of the beams. Her parents weren't home. And, she killed herself when she was only 15. I remember watching her funeral. I remember watching, I want to fucking cry. I remember watching the first 48, I think, where they caught the dude, and I think he was from, I can't remember where the fuck he was from. I think he was from Europe.
Okay.
And, he was from Europe. And I think he got arrested, and he only got 5 years or something, but it was a whole trial. I think a few people got charged. Her parents split up. They shared some videos of her singing. Greg, she had a really good singing voice. You know that?
That's pretty nice.
She had a really, beautiful singing voice.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I used to walk around Hugo with Shane, and he asked me that I felt compelled to answer. He's like, I would have been her friend. She was so beautiful. Do you think she would have been friends with me? And I'm like, you know what, Greg? You know what, Shane? I think she would have. You're a good dude. You're very kind, and I think you would have stuck with her. I really do.
Wow.
And obviously, Shane turned out to be a pedophile, so there goes that, and me even seeing that. But I think at the time, before he became what he did, I think they probably could have been friends. And you know what? I think Shane would have stuck through with her, you know?
Right.
There, unfortunately, I'm getting to the ghost story of where I thought I saw her, because I want to remain on topic about, like, ghost stories and shit. But I remember there was a photo that some sick son of a bitch took of her at the morgue. Her dead body. Like, he took a picture of her at the morgue. And I seen that photo, Greg.
Wow.
I don't think I ever told you that.
No, I don't think you did.
I also saw the chat roulette photos because they weren't around the internet.
Uh-huh.
I was below 18, by the way. I was actually I was 16 when I saw those photos, but I wanted to gag and puke because you could obviously say, so, like, they were blacked out, but they were going around the internet. Because remember, when you put something on the internet, it don't go away.
No, that's true.
And there was a photo of, I don't know if it was really her, but there was a photo of her at the morgue going around. You could still see the red lines. You know, she was in a gown. She was dead. You know, one of those green gowns they put when they put you in the freezer and shit?
Yeah.
She was dead. You know, there was nothing. She was dead. She wasn't coming back. I was disgusted with it, honestly. I wanted to puke. I thought it was very disgusting. Because how do you do that, you know?
Yeah.
And Greg, when I tell you that photo haunted my dreams and I wanted to puke, I promise you I did. Because at first, I didn't like her. And then I started watching tributes and actually getting to know her story. And then I saw the movie Bullies.
Okay.
You know, where they had these kids, you know, being interviewed about being bullied, and one of them committed suicide. If you remember that.
I never watched it, but I heard things about it.
But yeah, you know, I saw that, and it haunted my dreams for about 2 weeks. And then, you know, eventually you get over it. Like, not get over it, but it don't bother you as much.
Yeah.
Because I've seen people, you know, you see, it's nothing compared to the ISIS videos that were leaked where they killed all those people. Like, I've seen war videos. You've seen fucked up shit on the internet. You can't tell me you haven't.
No, I have.
That's what I'm saying. Eventually you get over it. But
Yeah.
I still want to puke about it thinking about it today because it wasn't right. Sorry. Because I'm still disgusted with that photo and at myself for seeing it. I don't know if they ever fired the dude that leaked it. I never heard any updates to it. I don't want to look it up because it feels wrong now, you know?
Right.
It still feels wrong. And I just don't want that type of shit on my internet, you know? It's wrong.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you.
Leaked, and I think she got cremated. And her parents broke up because I think they were pretty toxic together. And that might have been one of the reasons why she, you know, did what she did. But that's just speculation on my part. I guess she didn't get enough help. I don't know what the fuck happened. It's been years since I looked it up. You know, she would be 20. She'd be shit. You know, she'd be my age now. So yeah, about 26. But one day I was at the school, right?
Yeah.
It was about 2 or 3. It was the weekend. I went there playing basketball. And, on my way there, I saw my neighbors, they were cleaning their yard, people I've hung out with. I'm like, okay. And then I feel like somebody or something's watching me from the woods. I feel like something's there. And, for like 30 minutes, I just felt like, what's up, brother? Ah, Jesus. I mean, my creek came down. It's so pretty, too. Out front. This one's pretty, too. Yeah, they were both, I planted them both at the same time. It looks like a bunch of softballs on it. I like it. I take it out, split it right out. Yeah. Looks like thunder struck it, like, boom. Oh, wow. The whole thing came down. I got it about the third cut. The whole thing is a little water. Well, I mean, at least you're taking care of it now while it's not raining. You ain't kidding. You have a good day, sir. 11 Duke Road. Okay. But anyways, the story is that I was there for like, nearly an hour, and I thought I was like seeing things from the woods. I thought somebody was there, and I felt a presence. Like I was getting scared.
Mm-hmm.
And then this car literally, like I thought I saw a black presence in the woods. Like it was getting darker. It was only like 3 o'clock, but the sky was getting gray. And I thought I was seeing some black presence, like black fog in the woods. I swear to God, I was the only one there. It was creepy. And this Oldsmobile, like 75, pulls up. And it drives around the school very slowly. Keep in mind, I'm still a kid at this point.
Okay.
I'm only 15. I'm not the big man that I am now, Greg. I was only like 5'3". I was a very small kid. So you can imagine I'd be even more scared than I would be now.
Yeah.
And I ran. I was scared. I ran until I got to my neighbors because, the car was just parking, but I ran. I grabbed my ball and I fucking ran. And I didn't stop until I was at my neighbors. But as I was leaving the park, I felt like somebody was watching me leave,
Wow.
And after that, Greg, I never made another video about Amanda Todd. I stopped talking about her, and I stopped watching any tribute videos. I didn't do anything with Amanda Todd or look up or have any history with her or that name until now. And I never felt that presence of spirit again.
Mm-hmm.
But it was one of the scariest moments of my life, I shit you not.
Yeah, I can imagine. Wow.
It reminded me, again, you're going to laugh, but it reminded me of that nightmare I told you about when I was 5, where my mom's ex-boyfriend, my half-brother's dad's, the one that abused me,
Mm-hmm.
where he threw me over the bridge and I never stopped falling. And it was snowing out, that long bridge. Remember that nightmare I told you about?
Yeah.
That's what I was saying, Greg. That's what I was saying. It reminded me of that. You never had any paranormal experiences?
No, not that I'm aware of. I haven't. I just had the bad dreams, but not.
I mean, Greg, you're not missing out on anything. When people say they're creepy, yeah, you can say they're bullshitting, but Greg, let me tell you, it's very rare I felt so much fear at that point in my life, because I was very carefree. But when I tell you it was real, I swear to you on my life that I did feel a genuine terror.
Oh, I can imagine, yeah.
Now, is it possible that I was delirious and I was imagining it because I was just afraid of the person in the car? Yeah, but I feel like I was feeling something even before they showed up. And, I always heard about, like, kidnappers kidnapping little kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It could have been a number of things, because it was an older gentleman that I would not have been able to fight off. Just him in a park meant for children, so I was kind of weirded out. But, my neighbor, he was like 6'3", and he was cleaning up his yard. So I ran all the way from the school, even though I was short. And the dude maybe could have caught me, but it would have drawn attention. And my neighbor was like, there was two of them. One was 6'1" and 6'3" at the time, and they could have been able to fight the dude off. So I didn't scream or yell until I thought maybe I would have to,
Right.
So was it necessary? No. Thankfully, I never had to do it. Was I going to? Oh, you bet your ass I was going to. I felt scared. I felt nervous. I felt scared. I'm like, I'm going to get kidnapped. I'm going to be killed. I'm sorry, Dad. Sorry, Mom. Like all the strange thoughts that go through your head.
Yeah.
Well, on to other topics, because, I don't want it to just all be death and gloom or just reminiscent. Did you hear about that creepy interview with Elon Musk that I brought up the other day?
Yeah, I did. I didn't really look much into it, but I did hear it on the news.
Where he was talking about his creepy obsession with impregnating girls.
Yeah.
Or he had to fight the urge very badly to not, like, impregnate every girl that's hot that he likes. Like, I'm like, dude, this is kind of fucking creepy. Like, and then you're telling a right wing nuts fuck hard like Tucker Carlson. Like, it was a little weird and creepy, and I feel like the left actually had a point for once when they're like, dude, this is fucking creepy. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
It's not hard to control your dick, retard.
I know.
I don't know. I personally thought it was weird. I didn't watch the interview, but I read comments about it, and I just, I agree with them. It was some weird fucking shit, and I feel like I'm not missing out by not paying attention to it.
Yeah, same here.
So, he can go fucking creep someone's up, Greg. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, I agree.
Listen, I'm not judging him for wanting to, like, get a girl pregnant. What I'm judging is this dude already has 10 kids with multiple mothers, like Nick Cannon, and it's like, dude, like, don't you ever care to stop? You're not going to be able to give them the attention that they all need at once. And you're already a busy man with Tesla and Twitter and all these other projects you want to do,
Mm-hmm.
So I don't understand, Greg, like, what his thought process is. In fact, I bet you didn't know this, but his oldest child doesn't talk to him.
No, that I didn't know.
Yeah, his oldest child don't talk to him. Because his oldest child is, even though I have mixed feelings on it, his oldest child is, transgender. And apparently Elon Musk doesn't agree with that, and calls them by what their name was. And, his kid was like, yeah, you gotta go, dude. Like, they cut off, that person cut him from their life when as soon as they turned 18.
Yeah.
And I'm not surprised. I mean, that's their life. That's their right, You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know exactly.
That's their right. They can do whatever they want. Would I do that if Elon Musk was my father? No. Because do you know how far that fucking name can get you in life?
Oh, I know.
It's like, why not use that to your advantage,
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's right to do that, but, like, why not?
Right.
They forgot to scan a lot of these packages, of course. That shit is heavy. That shit is heavy. But that's okay, Craig. That's okay.
Yeah, as long as you don't have to go too far with that.
I mean, I'm already missing some stops anyways.
Yeah.
So what do you think about this AI generated shit that people keep talking about that they're worried about? Where you can use celebrities' voices and, you know, make AI generated pictures where you can't tell somebody drew them or not. I heard a discussion on YouTube, like where this podcaster was saying it defeats human achievement. It defeats the purpose, like, of a human doing it. Now you don't need a talent.
No, that's true.
They're like, oh, now you don't need any talent. How it started, like the podcaster's point, is somebody created like an amazing drawing and like they submitted it to this art gallery.
Uh-huh.
And you know, the art gallery is like, wow, that's fucking amazing. You know? It was like professionally really good. And they sent this dude a prize and he sent it back. He rejected it. You want to know why?
Why?
Because he did it to make a point. He's like, you retards can't see what human achievement is anymore. You can't tell the difference between AI generated and actual talent. I don't want this because AI generated it. I didn't draw it. And it created like this whole debate. That, and you know, people are afraid it's going to eventually ruin lives, take jobs. You won't be able to tell if it's real or not, or like if that person really said that or not. You know, they don't want the AIs to gain intelligence and take us over, and just all the robo shit you've been hearing from the 80s.
Yeah.
I mean, not bothering me because I see that being a long way off.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. It's like years and years ahead of us how things are going to change.
Exactly.
It won't be in our lifetime, but
Yeah. Even if it is, I wouldn't care.
no.
Because right now, people are only using it to really draw, you know, horny shit. Or like make videos about the president's roasting shit on YouTube. You know?
Right.
But, sorry, I'm chewing some beef jerky.
Oh.
But I will concede that Elon Musk, that he has a point. I think it will get dangerous. And I think it will get out of control in the future. And he keeps saying this shit, but how do we know he's not really pushing it?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Greg, he pretty much is pushing it with his car technology. He wants to create an energy fuel truck, you know, like a Tesla truck.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to create, Greg, Tesla phones. Like, this dude wants to create an empire, and he's a part of the fucking problem. Imagine that.
Yeah.
It's like Bill Gates, saying you should do this and this for your health, even though he is part of the problem. Wasn't he one of the people forcing that shit overseas in like Africa?
Yeah, I think so.
I think I heard something about that. Like, I'm just saying, like, this dude has no right to fucking give information to anybody. He's not a doctor, and you know what? I never did like Dr. Pelosi,
Right.
that presidential doctor. Fuck that guy. Is he good at his job? Well, seeing as a lot of people hate him, probably not. I didn't like him. Trump didn't like him. George Bush is too stupid to hate anybody. Like he used to do dealings with Saddam and Osama bin Laden,
Yeah.
the bin Laden family before 9/11. So what's that say about him? He's a
Yep.
worker. But nobody wants to talk about that because it's not popular. Well, Greg, I say, fuck George Bush. Something funny?
No, because I agree with you.
He's a war criminal. We should have never been over there, and he left. And the only reason why he was never charged or anything of that point is because who's going to go to war with the president of the United States and win?
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm not talking about guerrilla warfare, but I mean like where they're going to try and take him by force. You know how much that's going to fail on you?
Oh, I know.
And it's very hard to convict a sitting president anyways, right? You pretty much got to wait until Sorry, it was spam.
Gotcha.
But I think it's just going to get worse anyways, and there's really no point in trying to hope it gets better.
Yeah, that's what I've pretty much been saying too. It's not worth getting all upset and stressed out, especially if you don't have any control of it.
All you can do is hope to get a better job and try to move forward.
Yeah, that's all you can do.
You can't, or you can move, like literally move states, and then move forward. There's only so much you can do.
Right.
Only so much you can do, and I don't know, man. Like that's all I can do right now. Just keep paying my bills. Pretty much struggling. Keep paying my bills, and then worry about getting a house or whatever, because I wouldn't be able to afford both. It would take way too long in my estimation, and I just don't want to do it that way.
Yeah.
I know I've been called a retard for my lifestyle before, or I've been judged, for being homeless, but until people end up in that position, they really can't be judged. I mean, they can, but what I'm saying is that they won't.
Yeah, that's why I don't say things like that, because anybody can end up in that position at any given time.
In this economy, it wouldn't surprise me, especially in California. I've heard it's getting worse.
Yeah, I did too.
I just heard California is really bad. Then again, it's California. I'm not very shocked.
Yeah.
6:45. 6:45. Front door. All I just heard it's especially getting bad down there.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, California. There we go. You know, the problem with them living in California and wanting to move out, saying it's too expensive, it's, very often it still doesn't change the politics.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of them have moved to Texas, but their politics have stayed the same. And they're just going to make other places worse. Because I have a theory one day that the South will probably be going blue, especially with modern liberal students.
Yeah, I can see that too. Yeah, you do have a good point.
Kind of hard not to, Greg.
Yeah.
Kind of have to be kind of stupid not to see it. That's why I don't bother voting for any senator, House of Representative member, even a school fucking board member, because I just don't care anymore. I think it's worthless, and it won't change a thing. Just like George Carlin said. He said, I don't vote because it won't change a fucking thing. It won't matter.
Right.
And, I like George Carlin. Still do. Even though he's been dead for 14 years. His things are still relevant. They're still prevalent today. Just as they were, 20 years ago or even 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I always loved his bits on religions. And, I love his bit on golf. Like all these golf courses we have, he's like, you can turn that into homeless shelters. Or actually, homes for the homeless. It's an elitist sport.
Yeah, that's true.
And he said, you want to know how they could solve homeless? If the government can make money off it, it would be solved today. There would be no homeless and everything would be fine.
Mm-hmm.
But since the government doesn't fucking care and doesn't want to do anything about it, like it took them 200 years. It took them 90 years to get rid of slavery because people consider the United States to be founded 1775.
Uh-huh.
And we didn't have our first president until 1789 because before that, you got to remember, it was ran by the Continental Congress.
Right.
So what I'm saying is when they say slavery was around for 200 or 400 years, I have to wonder what the fuck they're talking about. I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
When we think about it, the first English didn't get over here until about the 1600s, early 1600s, 1619, I think, at the earliest. Plymouth Rock. And say they brought slaves in 1619.
Okay.
That's 210, 20, 30, less than 250 years of slavery. But I don't think it was 1619. I think slavery was brought over earlier. I mean later. Sorry, later. I always wondered where they got the 400 years of slavery from. Unless they're talking about Jim Crow and after the Civil War.
Hmm.
I'll give them that. To be black before the year 1950 probably sucked dick. But what have they done about it since?
Yeah.
What have they changed since? What have they truly fought for since? I want you to answer that, Greg.
The answer to that is
The answer to that is you don't fucking know.
no. Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say.
I don't know the answer either. I'm not saying they didn't have a hard drive, because they obviously did. But I'm saying in the last 50 years, 1970, or even the last 40 years, because remember, Michael Jordan's been, Shaq has been loved for the last 32 years, 33 actually. Michael Jordan's been loved for 40 years, because think about it. Actually, even before that, remember Bob Knight said Michael Jordan was the best athlete he's ever seen in 1982.
Right.
Greg, that was 42 years ago.
Yeah.
42 years ago. So what I'm saying to you, Greg, is what have they done besides? Well, I don't even want to say it because it'll just make us sound pretty fucked up. I was gonna say kill each other, but I don't think we're being totally fair here because the government didn't really necessarily help them out after the Civil War and give them the best education until 100 years after that.
Yeah.
And they've been picking up the pieces slowly, but all right. So let me change my mind. I can see why it has happened the way it has. I mean, think about it, Greg. Being with a person of a different color, especially if you're white, didn't become legal until 1967.
Right.
That's insane, dude. Is that not insane to you?
I know.
That was literally Greg, Haley Berry, I think, was born before that or after that. I can't remember, but still. And then, when people try to look at historical figures with a modern day lens,
Hmm.
that's troublesome too, because me and you both know it's not a fair comparison because there are times in the way they were taught, even though all these liberals would say, oh no, I would act different or I would be different. And I'm like, it's because they were raised with modern values of what is right and wrong. They have their own values of right and wrong back in the day. So you saying this or that is all horseshit.
Right.
You have no idea what you would have or could have been, right? And I'm just tired of them lying and saying they would have been different. And it's like, how do you know that? You have modern day philosophy to think for that, but I'm just saying I don't buy it when they're like, oh, I would have been different. I would have done this. I would have done that. It's like, how do you know though?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
How do you know you would have been any different?
Yeah, and that's something you don't know.
Exactly. The answer is they wouldn't have. And if they did, they would have hit it because that could have gotten them hung.
Right.
Well, just like being a Jew during Nazi Germany or a different religion during the Catholic Renaissance. That's what I'm saying, Greg.
Yeah.
I have 47 stocks left.
Okay, that's not too bad. It seems
Like a lot.
a lot, but It really doesn't.
Now I'm pretty sure last time I talked about using Twizzlers and gum and water to quit smoking. I'm gonna add like venison or some kind of dried jerky to that. Not too bad actually.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I mean, depends on if they like it, but I think it's pretty good.
Uh-huh.
I think I might finish another poem tonight. You know, the Time That Remains poem that I started.
Oh, okay.
The only reason why I didn't have us work on it today is because I wrote it down in my book, and I don't know if I added anything to the book that maybe I didn't send you, you know?
Right.
So what I'm saying to that is I don't want to add something that might not even be there, you know?
No, that's true. That's a good idea.
Oh, couch is a good idea. For you to shut the fuck up. Anyway, I'm sorry, everybody. Greg was being violent. His favorite method to calm down is the Kurt Cobain method.
Oh, gosh.
Marry a whore, do some drugs, have a kid, and then blow his mind out.
Yeah, that'd be me.
And then he wakes up the next day to do it again and be like, fuck, I can't die. Kind of like Penny from South Park. No, it sounds like a terrible life, honestly. Before you called, all I was doing, honestly, was just watching the presidents, you know, do those AI videos.
Yeah.
So I've done 46 stops so far, and I got 46 left.
Wow, so you're halfway through.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. I don't know what I'm gonna do today, honestly. I was so mad yesterday, like, cause remember how long it took me to find, like, a cord just to even charge my phone? Like, driving around to different stores. So I wouldn't have to pay more than $10 at a gas station.
Oh, I know.
Or, God forbid, go to Verizon. Because they always got something that's really expensive.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I just didn't want to do it. But yeah, you know, let's go back to the Friends topic for a minute. I forgot to mention one of them became transgender, and you know, before he did, I tried apologizing, and it just never worked. You know, he or she, depending on if we ever become friends or not, Steven, goes by Gwen now. He goes by Gwen. He goes by Gwen, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And still lives with his mom. Sorry, her mom. It's hard. Doesn't have a job. Is broke. And is an asexual, transsexual, lesbian. And don't laugh, Greg.
I'm not on this one.
Don't laugh. I think they added the word gray in there too, gray sexual. I don't know what the fuck that means though. Do you know what that means?
No, that I honestly don't know.
What even? All right, so he's dating someone that used to be a guy, but is now a girl.
Okay.
Steve used to be sexual. He used to like girls, but he became, I guess, a girl, and now he likes, I guess, girls still. But who he's dating is still a guy. So I guess you could say he's gay. And
Yeah.
before you call me an asshole, I will not apologize. Because that's technically what it is.
Yeah. It's so confusing anymore with all this stuff.
Especially when they say pansexual. It's like, you mean bisexual?
Yeah.
No, pansexual. I love everybody. No, bisexual. I don't know what gray sexual is.
No.
But what Steve is pretty much saying, for you to understand, because I know you're confused, he's pretty much saying that he, a biological male, is dating another biological male, but they're both transsexual and they both prefer the pronouns of he. So
Okay.
I guess what they're saying is they're now both girls now, even though they're biological men. They're both gay, and Steve is asexual and doesn't like, sexual stuff.
Okay.
And his partner understands that. So all they do is like cuddle and shit. I don't understand it, right? But that's what it is.
Yeah, that is over my head.
Well, if you want, you'll probably feel like a jerk, but if you just want to call a spade, you just say it's two gay dudes dating. Two mentally ill gay dudes dating. That's what you can say.
Uh-huh.
They'll call you an asshole, but that's what it is. Two biological dudes dating. They're trans, yeah. Both want to be called she, and I can do that. But I'll know deep down that it's two men dating and it's gay. Which
Yeah.
is okay. It's okay to be gay.
Right.
Well, I'm just going to call it as I see it. I'll call it as it is. Two dudes dating. There are women in mind, but not body, because he still has his penis. Both of them still do.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm just going to call a spade a spade. Is that the polite thing to do? No. But, it just is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, when it gets into all that, it just gets all confusing. All these new terms and everything.
I know you're confused. You're like, dude, what the fuck?
I know.
But, I don't. If I was still Steve's friend,
Mm-hmm.
now keep in mind, this is a kid I grew up with,
Right.
Now, if he was to ask me, Tim, I've known you a long time, we're still friends, will you call me Gwen? I think I would do that for her.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. I would do the same.
Is it not working? How old are those trucks? I keep hearing that. I never knew the truth, but I keep hearing that. I don't have any jumper cables. Oh, gotcha. I'm sorry that's happening, man. I've had it happen before. It sucks. Is it the engine? That sounds like a pain. Do they force you to turn it off at every stop? And they wonder why shit goes bad. I mean, I understand so nobody steals it, but that can't be healthy for the truck. Jesus. You have a good day, man. Of course, man. What? Hard again. too bad. It was a really cute girl, post office worker.
Mm.
And they're required. I never knew that they're required to turn off the engine at every stop.
Really? No, I didn't know that. I thought they
And
kept
she
it
was
going.
trying to turn her engine on, like it wouldn't start. And I'm like, probably could. They make you fucking turn it off. And I'm like, that can't be good for the engine. And she's like, policy, you know? And I'm like, they could have paid me enough to do that horseshit. Fuck that. And she's still there, too. She's like, I'll just call the office. And I'm like, good luck. Fuck, man. Good luck. You know, maybe when we get down south, we can look at some Spectrum or some National Grid jobs where we do the truck and the cables.
Yeah,
I see that they make decent money. Maybe we can too.
that's a good idea.
It is. Yeah, pump gas real quick. You know, it's funny, like, how long we can keep a podcast going. Like, it's not a normal one,
I know.
you know? Dude, gas is so fucking expensive. Like, the gas station I went to in my county, Onondaga County, it's like $4. Like, all the options are over $4. And diesel's like $6.
Jeez.
Greg, not only, if I bought my dad's truck for $30K, right?
Yeah.
I would have to pay over $600 a month per month, you know, for the truck itself, for the loan. And then however expensive, you know, the insurance would be. And then I would have to pay for the gas, diesel itself. You know, I can see why my dad doesn't take it many places, you know?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. But Greg, you know, I cannot wait to just be done paying off on the truck. I'd be so excited.
I know, and you can actually save your money for something now.
Indeed.
Yeah, that's the hardest thing, is just paying something off.
I still haven't talked to my dad on the phone. I haven't talked to him on the phone or in person ever since that day. Like, I just can't get over my anger. It makes me not want to talk to him.
Has he tried calling you or talking to you, or?
Like, he sent a message yesterday morning, you know, like through the group message, saying, I love you guys, but, and, you know, I said I love you back, but, you know, that's easy to do. And I do love him, but I just can't get over my bitterness. It's just consuming me, and it just makes me not want to talk to him. Like, I don't know what you want me to say. Like, I'm admitting how I feel. I just can't talk to him without getting angry or, like, wanting to yell at him, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's totally his fault, because it's not, but he really doesn't fucking help it. And that just might have to be what it is.
Right.
I got Cuban stuff, sausage, P&O stuff, meatball stuff, and Scotch shells and meatballs for them. I do like that. You try it.
Yeah.
It's that Prime Energy drink.
Okay.
The blue raspberry. You try it. It's really good. Try it, man. No, they don't got any of the things. It's by Logan Paul and Chance I, YouTuber. I know I talked to you about Logan Paul.
Yeah.
And in case you don't remember that douchebag, that's the dude that filmed that guy, like the suicidal bodies, and he left in Japan and he got canceled for it.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. Yeah.
And then KSI is like some famous YouTuber because he has like a comedy show or something.
Yeah.
Him and Logan Paul did a boxing match, if you remember that.
I do remember that.
You know, just all stupid stuff, but it works for them. They made a lot of money. Yeah. I don't know. It's like I want to get some candy, but I don't know which one to get. Charleston Chew. When's the last time you had that?
Wow. A long time.
That's what I'm saying. And you're probably like, wow, that's been years, Tim. Cookie and cream pie. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, that does sound good.
Well, your mom's not here. So, sorry. You're probably like, fuck you, Tim. Fair enough, Greg. Fair enough. Okay? Fair enough.
Yeah.
My favorite Charleston Chew, I shit you not, is the strawberry.
Strawberry?
Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong, I won't go out my way to get a Charleston Chew, but I'm saying if I have to, it'd be a strawberry. Because beef jerky's getting old, man. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I know.
It gets old. Like, it's good, but when you've had it, but I told you how I operate, Greg. When I have something too much, I just can't do it anymore. You know, not for a while.
Yeah, I've been that way too.
Don't worry, Greg. When I'm done with your mom, I'll be that way too. I want to give them, but it's like I don't know what to get, you know? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Fortune chili lime. Dude, I love this flavor. This stuff's pretty good. You should try the Pringles Scorching chili and lime.
Oh, that sounds like an interesting flavor.
It's pretty good, not gonna lie. Oh, God. Thank you, sir. I know, but that's what I. Yeah, it's kind of different. You're away? Perfect. If you like Pringles, I highly recommend this flavor. It's amazing. I mean, I don't like Pringles that much anymore when you get older, but it's amazing. Have a good day, man. Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, I forgot you were in my pocket, Greg.
I travel everywhere.
That's because you're literally in my pocket, Greg. Okay, we're still doing the podcast, so I forgot. Before you get caught up talking to someone, or you get caught up in the environment, like you forget someone's there.
Oh, I know. I could imagine.
I gotta try and finish this route before. I just hope the pickup cancels, you know?
Yeah.
I really do. If not, I'm kind of fucked. Cause it's already 117 and I haven't hit 50 yet. What I'm saying is that I don't think I'm gonna be able to make it today, Greg. I guess I'll have to. I guess I'll just literally have to make a detour to the pickup if I gotta do that. It is what it is, but it's like, what's the fuss of complaining? They won't change it. But you might as well just get it over with. You know, I just hate doing that because it takes a while out of my time, nearly an hour.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, Greg.
And what's hard is, you're trying to get everybody's delivered, but then you want to be nice and pick people's up, and you're in situations, something's got to give if you can't make it.
I mean, I agree, but sometimes you have so little time that you gotta make a split decision, and
Yeah.
it may not always be the right one, but that just is what it is.
Yeah.
They won't back down, and I don't really feel like making a big fuss about it because, most of the time it's probably not a big deal. Yeah, I'll stress about it here and there, but it's whatever.
Yeah.
Most of the time I'm able to get to it, and yeah, I'll stress, but like I said, man, that's just fucking what it's gonna be. I actually had a lot more stops than originally planned.
Yeah, that sucks too when you find that out. It's like, what?
Well, there's a cop on the wrong side of the fucking road. And there's not much that I can fucking do,
Yeah.
Why these retards are on the other side of the fucking road, I have no fucking idea. They must be stopping to talk to somebody, but that's okay. I think the retards should put on their four ways, because if it was anybody else, a cop would be like, dude, what the fuck? But,
Yeah.
a cop can do it, so. And they say that that they don't abuse their authority.
I know.
I mean, that's obviously, fucking sarcasm, but.
No, it's the idea. Nobody can see it. If someone's going to come up and they don't see them.
I think it's a bad move, but, I mean, their emergency lights aren't on, their four ways aren't on, they're just fucking going on the wrong side of the road.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be the one to tell the cop to be like, hey, retard, what the fuck are you doing? Maybe if I was a super or have some authority, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or maybe if I was the actual sheriff, I'll be like, hey, retard, what the fuck are you doing, dude? But I'm not. And I don't think it's a wise move for me to even say anything.
No.
Because I'm not going to change their mind. And, they technically have more authority than I do. So, what's the point?
Exactly, yeah.
Do I still think they're wrong? Yeah, but nothing I can do. Hello. I got two for you. I got to scan them real quick. Thought I had my scanner with me. I guess not. My wallet. Huh. And indeed, I do have two for you, madam. Oh, it's all good. It's all good. I always get my workout from here. Oh, come on, Scanner. Let me just do this technology.
Well, I can get them more next time. I'm not looking at them.
I don't consider them heavy.
No, they're bad. That's not.
Of course, man. You have a good day. What, man? Of course, you too, man. You know, I can't say the cops of this county are total dicks because they're not. Because I've actually met quite a few sheriffs in this county, and they've been pretty nice to me. They've been pretty fair, so it wouldn't be right for me to totally criticize them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm just saying that I don't think they should be parked that way impeding traffic. That's all I'm fucking saying. Like, if you're gonna park, why not park in the fucking driveway, bro?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Looks like to be some domestic violence there, and that's probably why they're there.
Yeah.
Only one of them, none of them have their lights on, and only one has fucking their beams on. Not like top beams, but little beams. Just normal LED.
Oh, okay.
Like everybody's having to move out of the fucking way out of those fucking cars. That's why I'm saying it's a bad fucking idea, Greg. If it was heavy flow and I was a trooper, I'd be like, hey, you know, what the fuck is going on here, dude? But I don't know if that would fucking, I don't know if the trooper would be able to do anything because it's not exactly the highway and, you know, they're deputies and they're probably doing official business. So who the fuck is the trooper to be like, hey, you know, retards, turn on your lights or something? Like, why the fuck are you just talking to people like it's normal and you're impeding traffic?
Right.
I'm just saying, if I had enough authority, I would want to say, hey, can you stop impeding traffic? Like, what's going on? But I don't even know if it would work well for a trooper or not, or a DC, or anybody, you know?
Yeah.
Unless it's the actual sheriff, their deputy, you know, their sheriff, you know, like, what's the fuck are you gonna say? Be like, hey, you know, can you please move out of the way? You're impeding traffic. It's like, go fuck yourself. You're not a cop. Suck our dick. Like, okay. All I'm saying is if I was a sheriff, I would, unless it was an emergency, and Greg, their emergency lights were not on. It just looks like they're talking to a girl and a guy. Their emergency lights aren't on. They're just chilling there on the wrong side of the fucking road. It just sends a certain image, like, hey, this is fucking kind of lazy. If it was an emergency, fine. I understand. Turn on your emergency lights or your four ways or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
But to have neither on, I'm just saying, I think it sets a bad precedent.
And it does, and like you said, it's obstructing traffic and.
It impedes traffic, in my opinion.
Yeah.
If I was high on the food chain, I would want to say something, but I'm not, and I don't have the authority to. And it could get me in trouble, so there's no point.
Right.
Do I wish I could? Oh, you bet your ass I could. Because I'd be like, hey, you know, like, I understand, you know, you guys are deputies probably trying to do your duty, but what if, like, a bunch of troopers are going through and, you know, like, you know how some towns move, like, windmill pieces and they got them on these long trucks?
Yeah.
So, like, troopers will be guides.
Yeah.
Like, what if you got to impede traffic because of that and the troopers are like, hey, what are these sheriffs doing? I'm just saying I don't think it's going to be a good time.
No, that's actually a good point.
Like, who's gonna yell at who in that situation? You're both cops, you know?
Yeah, that would go much more to like a supervisor and
Yeah, it's like, and if I was a supervisor for the sheriff, I'd be like, move the truck. What they're doing is more important. Move the truck, or pull into the driveway next time. You know?
right.
But like, be honest. You know how often their egos have it.
Yep.
By the way, that Mountain Dew I got from Taco Bell yesterday tasted like ass again.
That one did too?
Yeah, I don't fucking understand. I can't get a drink from fast food anymore. Every fast food place I've gone, including Subway, McDonald's, and the movies, it tasted like shit.
They must
And
have
I
changed
can't
the
blame it
syrup.
on, oh, you quit smoking, so your taste buds, it's like, my taste buds weren't that dead. I know the difference between a good fucking fountain drink and a bad one.
Yeah.
Like, have you noticed anything that's been up?
Actually, yeah, it all depends on which place I go to. Like I said, sometimes I don't know if it's the difference in syrup or even though sometimes it's watered down.
Or they don't put enough salt in it.
That could be too.
You know, some people may be grossed out by this, but when I used to work at Nice and Easy, those fountain drinks would run to the back to like a boiler type object, and we would have to pour a lot of salt cubes on it, and that would give it the flavor.
Yeah.
I mean, I was never able to get Nice and Easy drinks after that when I knew what it was really like, and now it's Circle K, and I don't know if they do the same thing, but I'm pretty sure they do. But that's why I stopped getting fountain drinks.
Yeah.
At places I worked, at least. But now I feel like I can't get any more drinks from restaurants either.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about restaurants, but like at least at the movies or like those other places, because they just went straight up bad, Greg. You know, just really straight up bad.
Yeah.
So I got 42 stocks left.
Okay.
I mean, I don't even know what I'm gonna do after work today. Wine. Avril Lavigne had that, or had that. I don't know which one. I remember hearing about it like 7 years ago that she had it. Now I got 41 stocks. You know, Greg, I miss the days where we could just collect camp or ride the bikes around the neighborhood. There was no social media. Pressure to do better in society wasn't as much. It wasn't as bad.
I know. I wish those days all the time.
Me too. Me too. Because now it just seems like everybody gets to be attractive. You gotta be spectacular. You can't be average. If you're average, you're ignored or even bullied.
Hmm.
God help you if you're fucking untalented and ugly. The bullying you will receive, you wish you will be dead. Then again, that's why there's a lot of school shootings too. It's not just all mental illness.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
you don't, you know, Greg,
Yeah.
it's controversial to say that you understand how other people feel. It always seems to bring forth a negative, just a negative vibe.
Right. Especially with social media, being brought up in the old days when we didn't have it and seeing it now, it's totally changed people.
Indeed.
I am so glad, and I hate saying this, but
People no longer go outside.
yeah, I'm
People
just,
care less about their fellow human beings.
yeah,
They're more egotistical. They're more fame hungry. They're more fake. It's easier for them to cheat. It's just a shithole.
yeah. And I'm so glad I did not live or been brought up in that.
Yeah, but the girls of this age are hotter than the girls of your age. Let me rephrase that. The girls of this era look hotter than the girls of your era did.
Yeah, I do admit to that.
But I prefer the girls of your era because they were more real. They were less fake. They were more genuine.
And they were honest.
All right, let's not go too far. They were more honest. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
I was about to say,
It's a lot
you don't want
different.
to praise them too much.
No. It's just,
They're still women, Greg.
yeah, I know, but what I'm saying is you didn't have the social media, so you didn't really know what was right, what was wrong. Back
I
then,
agree.
it was like right in front of you.
I agree. You know, it's funny.
Yeah.
Every time I pass by the nuclear plant, they always say authorized vehicles and visitors only, and I'm neither. Like, you're not supposed to go past these parks, but I do, because it gets me to my other stops quicker. And nobody has ever stopped me, and I've never saw any security. Nobody's ever said or done anything, so it just kind of is what it is.
Yeah.
Just because it's probably FedEx, they're like, oh, he probably made a delivery.
Yeah.
It's probably just a sign, and they don't actually give a fuck. But who actually comes out here near a nuclear plant? You know?
Yeah.
It really wouldn't be the first place I'd want to hang around. What about you?
No, it's not a place I would go.
You know, like, I understand you, Greg.
Yeah.
You know, I have to show you the Morbius Park. You know, even never. I've seen them, but I've never been to them. You know, inside at least.
Right.
You know, I want us to get a place one day that has a lot of wood. You know, like a place that we can go in the back and like shoot guns or do a bow and arrow or do whatever we feel we need to do.
That's a good idea.
I agree, Greg. That is a good idea, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Stay with me, Greg. Yeah. But yeah, anybody that's listening, if you do Pringles and you like hot or like even a good flavor that suits the taste buds, do a Scorchin series and do a chili and lime. It's good. It'll make you want to eat the whole can. I shit you not. I like them personally. I almost ate the whole can last time, but that was when I was going through the flu. It was
Oh,
the only thing I ate that day.
yeah.
But I highly recommend it, Greg. It's a good flavor.
I'll have to try that because I do like Pringles.
It's good. So I saw something super exciting.
What's that?
Remember my favorite singer, Adam Gontier?
Yeah.
How he's now the lead singer of Santa Sonia, but he used to be the singer of 3 Days Grace?
Yeah.
Guess who, for the first time in 10 years, reunited with the band and went on stage with their new lead singer?
Who's that?
Adam.
Oh, Adam.
Yeah, he actually went to 3 Days Grace concert and sang with them, like 2 songs.
Oh, wow.
And the crowd went, dude, the crowd went wild. I was so excited. I'm like, oh my god, that's awesome! Like, it was amazing. It was good, no lie.
Oh, that's good.
It makes me wish he would come back, but you know, he got his own band. But hopefully, this means they could tour together, or he could even be featured on a song. You know.
Right.
I bet you it felt nostalgic for his other members though, because they haven't seen him in years. You know.
Mm-hmm.
God, how nostalgic, right? But at the same time, you know, he probably doesn't want to go back to singing that pop garbage that 3 Days Grace does. You know, he does different type of music with his band, and who knows if it would actually work out, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Wow, even this soda tastes like shit. Maybe I'm just not a soda person anymore, Greg.
Well, something must have changed in it.
That's what I'm saying, because I had it last week and it tasted much better.
Yeah.
Mm. Weird. You know, that's not the thing. That's not to say that my taste buds didn't change.
Right.
But yeah, anything else you want to mention on the podcast? We must have easily been going over 2 hours on this so far.
Let me check the time. Yeah, we're about 2:40. Yep.
Why don't we just end it?
Okay.
Anyways, guys, my name's Tim.
And I'm Greg.
We're the Reality Duo. We love you. My tongue is on fire. later, Greg.
Okay.
Have a good day, guys. Love you.
Love y'all.
Bye.
Bye.